time on the Gadget Show.
The boys are getting all competitive again. Jason and Dallas go head-to-head in a series of challenges.
We take to the water to test skis against boards in a sort of towed by a boat in a wetsuit face-off.
They battle it out in a computer gaming grudge match.
And finally, we race high-tech racing bikes around London.
I'll be checking out our top 5 gadget watches, and John and impressionist Phil Cornwall get mischievous testing home phones.
Hello.
Hello, Dallas. It's Michael Kay.
Hello and welcome to the Gadget Show.
Now, let's get straight down to the business of this week's Fast and Furious challenge.
Yeah, this week's challenge is based around the theme of competition.
Yeah, and it also involves 2 finely honed athletic physiques.
Yeah.
Yeah, wearing very tight wetsuits and lycra.
Yeah.
Getting very sweaty.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately, it's me and Dallas. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, this week's challenge sees Jason and Dallas going head-to-head in a series of competitive tasks. And they began by heading to the waterside to see who could have the most fun, the most gadgety fun, being towed very fast behind a boat.
Avid Gadget Show fans will know I've always been up for any challenge involving a board, be it a skateboard or a snowboard.
Whereas I've always loved skiing and used to compete a bit in my youth. So we wondered what would happen if we transferred our respective skills to water.
So here's the challenge. Using the best equipment around, we were going to have a board versus ski battle of the water sports.
I'd be water skiing, slalom skiing to be precise, which uses a single ski on which the pros approach speeds of 70 miles an hour across the wake. I've had a couple of lessons before, but I was still very much a beginner.
Insanity. Look at the plume. I've got to do this, Jason.
I know you're... And I'd be trying wakeboarding for the very first time, which uses a wider board to hit the wake and launch into the air to perform spins, tricks and jumps.
Whoa!
Way! Into a little wheelie. That's amazing.
And at the end of the day, we were to be judged on our efforts by an expert in both sports, 11 times British jump champion Danny Budd. To show me the ropes, I had a former world champion slalom skier, Glenn Campbell.
And I had wakeboarding expert Richard Hodgkins.
My previous experience meant I was able to start on the rope, whereas Jason started out on a bar attached to the boat. After a few practice runs under Glenn's guidance, I was gaining confidence on my entry-level monoski. The O'Brien Synchro is a fairly wide-bodied ski, which means getting up and out of the water is a little easier, and its concave base and defined bevel edges enable stable turns without losing speed.
What I love about this ski is that it's stable enough to let you get up, but it's also agile enough to do the big turns like this. Woo!
While Dallas was wiping out, I'd progressed from bar to rope, and my experience on boards of all types was paying off on the water. My wakeboard was the Hyperlight Legion Motive, constructed of layered fiberglass. It's what's known as a continuous rocker, basically a smooth bend from head to tail, which enables a more stable ride over the wake. And these built-in channels and moulded fins underneath help the board grip the water.
It's an incredibly smooth feeling. I can feel the little furrows underneath the deck and those fins giving me stability.
Although I was loving this type of boarding.
Oh my God, that is so quick!
I knew that if I was going to win the challenge, I had to master riding the boat's wake, which tested my stability to the limit.
Oh!
Hitting the water was like falling onto a concrete floor.
I was trying out the slalom capabilities of the monoski. The width and curved edges of the O'Brien ski helped me stay on the surface through the buoys, even when I struggled to maintain my course and almost lost the line. The training was intense, and the longer we practiced, the harder our leg and back muscles had to work, with predictable consequences.
I'm absolutely shattered.
A quick plunge in a hot tub was welcome relief after all that practice, but only half an hour later, it was time to show what we were made of in a ski versus board showdown. We were to have 3 runs each in front of our impartial judge, 11-time British jump champion and expert wakeboarder Danny Budd, who would be marking us for technical merit and style.
I was first. My task was to try and complete the 6-buoy slalom course with speed and panache. My first 2 runs were frankly tough going. I missed half the buoys on the first run, and then I fell on the second. Which left me one final run to impress the judge.
Watch this, I'm going to go for it this time.
This is it, man. This is your final run.
And with the pressure on, I produced my best skiing of the day. The robust but flexible O'Brien ski retained its shape as it crashed across the wake. I'd really found my rhythm as I got round buoy 4 and then buoy 5. And though I just missed the last buoy, with 5 out of 6, I was a happy water skier.
Woo! Come on! That felt really good.
Well, Dallas had really set the benchmark. I was going to have to pull out some moves to impress our judge. It was showtime. And it couldn't have started better as I nailed not 1 but 2 180s on my first run.
Look at that! Oh, he's done his 180.
On run 2, I tried to up my style points, but got a little carried away. I'd done pretty well so far, but after Dallas's last run, I knew I was going to have to pull out something special on my final run if I was to have a chance. It was time to take on the wake and go for my first jump. I needed to get some air and was praying the board would be stable enough to keep me from another watery wipeout.
Yay! Woo!
I'd done it, but was it enough to win?
Hey, that was great.
amazing.
I love water skiing, I love it.
Actually, I thought that you both looked quite hot doing that.
And I have to say, it's down to the tech. The
Yeah.
tech has moved on, you know? Not only can you do the tricks and stuff, and as you say, look quite funky on these boards, but also you can get up on them quickly. They're designed to get you up on the water
Yeah, so
and doing
a
some
novice
tricks.
can actually get up and and look quite good. But you know what? I've got the results here. I know you want to know.
I am very excited.
OK, so it's divided into 2 parts, technical merit and style. Jason, starting with you, wakeboarding. You scored an incredible 9 out of 10.
Wow, congratulations.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
Dallas, water skiing. 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Well done.
OK, so
Well
you're
deserved,
drawing
thank
at the moment. Style next.
OK.
The deciding factor.
I'm hoping the shorts helped.
They might have dropped you a point. 8 out of 10 for style. 17 out of 20 for you. Dallas,
Yeah.
on your water ski, you need a 9 or bigger to win this challenge. You scored 8 out of 10. It's a draw, so going
Congratulations.
into the rest of the
Thank you.
challenge.
Good result.
You've got all to play for.
Well, coming up, we're going to be doing some hardcore video gaming. Jason and I are going to get down and dirty playing Counter-Strike Source.
Then we'll be donning some lycra and jumping on 2 highly sophisticated road racing bicycles.
Lycra. Right, Jace, I've got something that you are going to absolutely love.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, this is the world's first consumer OLED wireless digital picture frame.
Nice.
Look how thin that is.
It's so thin, and instantly, Suze, I can see it's got that famous OLED picture quality. We've seen the Sony OLED TV, haven't we, on the
Yeah.
Gadget show?
Each pixel in OLED technology has its own light source. It therefore doesn't need a backlight, which means its image contrast and colours are greatly enhanced.
The quality of the image is incredible.
Isn't it? But look, it's got a touch-sensitive frame which brings up all your options. You can beam pictures to it from any of your computers in your house wirelessly. Isn't it extraordinary?
I think it's absolutely superb. I mean, this is the beginnings of OLED, isn't it? I mean, if it starts with this, it's going to be so amazing when it gets to really big format screens.
Really exciting technology. Hey, something else that you're going to be excited about is our top 5 this week, because I've been looking at the top 5 Gadget watches.
Watches are a necessity, and most of us wear one. But they're not just there to remind us when the Gadget show's on the telly. They can also be works of art and house functions that could save your life. I headed to a posh watch shop in Mayfair to choose our top 5 with the help of watch expert James Gurney.
What makes a great watch, then?
Design, value, technology, most of all, desirability.
So, bearing all that in mind, here are the Gadget show's top 5 watches. At number 5, it's the Casio G-Shock GW M5600.
G-Shocks are an old favourite of the Gadget show, and this is the latest version, and it's practically indestructible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a watch that'll cope with anywhere. You'll break before it breaks, I think is the lesson on this one. It reminds me of the sort of first digital watches I had. It's updated a little bit. It's got solar power, which means the battery never needs to be changed. It's linked to radio transmitters and atomic clocks all the way around the world, so it'll always be on time. It's so straightforward. It's a classic.
Number 4 is the Tissot T-Touch Expert.
This is your true gadget watch.
Indeed it is. It's got a touch-sensitive dial. If you press Meteo, you'll see that it's showing the millibars. It's got thermometer, compass. You can see it finding north as you move it. It's a lot of fun, this watch.
Our number 3 is the Bell & Ross Hydromax. This is the ultimate diver's watch, able to work at 11,100 metres, thanks to a transparent oil inside the watch that equalises the massive pressures. But for James, it was more than just a mechanical marvel.
You can look at other watches and go, the numbers are too big, the hands are too fat or too thin. With this, it just looks right.
At 2, it's the internationally celebrated Breitling Emergency Watch.
It really is a classic. And it has really genuinely saved people's lives.
The Breitling contains an antenna which can send out a distress signal to emergency services anywhere in the world. But be warned, a hoax call can result in a £10,000 fine and a criminal record.
All I would have to do is pull out the antenna.
Indeed.
Like this. Fortunately, this is a dummy watch, so we won't have to pay thousands of pounds to Breitling for causing a hoax. But it's a magnificent bit of kit, isn't it?
Everyone knows Breitling for it, and for good reason.
But at number 1, this is the absolutely exquisite Girard Perregaux Tourbillon 3 gold bridges.
James, why is this so special?
Mostly because it's just so beautiful. It's such an elegant design.
3 gold bridges support the intricate watch movement, including the continual rotating cage that controls its accuracy. This contains 72 components, each one perfectly adjusted and finished by hand.
So would you say that this is watch perfection?
Yes.
OK, time now for a little experiment, because we want to find out whether high-definition Blu-ray is all it's cracked up to be, or, as some people seem to be suggesting, can you get just as good a result if you buy yourself an upscaling DVD player and play your DVDs through that onto your high-def telly?
It's a really interesting question, isn't it? I mean, I'll just tell you how upscaling DVDs work. What they do is create a new line of pixels by copying parts of the surrounding pixels. What they're trying to do is guess what the high-def picture should look like. The bottom line is, in theory, it should be possible to be able to create an image that can fool the human eye.
Yeah, and if you can't really tell the difference, you could make a massive saving if you think about it, because obviously upscaling DVD players generally are much cheaper than Blu-ray players, and the discs definitely are, because come and look at this. On Amazon here, I've got the Sunshine film. DVD cost just under a £5, Blu-ray £15.98.
Yeah.
So you could make a massive saving if you can't really tell the difference.
OK, so in order to find out the answer to the question, we've created a little test.
Hi, John.
Hi, hello.
How's it going?
So, here it is. We've got 2 identical high-definition TVs playing the same movie, Iron Man. The difference is, one is being played through a Blu-ray disc, through a Blu-ray player. The other's on a standard DVD through an upscaling DVD player. We've got the same HDMI cables at the back, so the only differences are the discs and the players. Now, I know which one is which.
OK, you know.
Yeah, I know. John's been looking for a few minutes. What do you think?
Well, I think there are really clear differences between the pictures. I think the one on the left is much better overall. I think it's got better colours, it's got much more detail in the shadows, and it's just generally a more detailed picture, much more satisfying to watch.
I absolutely agree, John. Looking at these eyes, you can see instantly are clearer. There's that sort of reflection of light that you get when you look at high-def pictures. Essentially, what the upscaler is trying to do is to create the feeling of HD and to provide a signal that your HD TV understands, and it's doing a good job, but it's not good enough.
It's amazing, actually, isn't it? You're totally drawn to the left picture.
Yeah.
You want to watch the film on the left-hand side. The colours are so much more vibrant and the clarity is much, much better. And you're right, that is the Blu-ray. So do you think it's fair to say, then, that Blu-ray is much better than upscale DVD?
Definitely.
Jace?
Yeah, I think it's worth the extra money.
OK, now it's time for the focus group. Each week on the focus group, John, Jason and I find the best new gadgets that we can in a particular category, present them to our focus group, and they tell us which one they like the best. Now, this week we are surrounded by music fans and students from Wolverhampton University. And we have come to Reverb in Birmingham because we are looking at music gadgets. And John, would you like to go first?
I've got something called the Korg K-Oscillator, which is basically a synthesizer, but without a keyboard. You've actually got a touchpad instead, so even somebody who knows nothing about notes, like me, can actually make sounds. Things like that. There's actually 99 different sounds to choose from. Things like that, think we. Ooh. Now, Lee, you know more about music than me.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's got lots of other features. If you want a loop, you can actually record something, then play more music on top of it. Isn't that correct? So the great thing is you can do this live in a DJing environment, or you can actually record the sound through the analogue out at the back into any sort of music recording device at all. And it actually costs under 100 quid as well, so you don't need to be expert in music and you make lots of sounds for very little money.
I've got an absolutely cracking music gadget. It's called the Spider Jam by a company called Lion 6. And what you think you're getting when you look at this thing is a standard 75-watt amplifier, which indeed it is. However, inside is a box of tricks, which includes 12 preset guitar sounds and a whole bunch of virtual band tracks, OK? So if you're like Joe, I'll just press play, and you play at home without any mates, it doesn't matter, because you've got your virtual bandmates inside. If you like how it's sounding, you can stop the track and you can start again by pressing record. Here we go. Now, the lead guitar, in this case, is now being recorded, OK? So what you're looking at is a multi-track recorder built into an amplifier for less than 300 quid.
I've got the first guitar with robotic technology in the world. It's based on Gibson's SG, the legendary SG, but the difference with this is that it automatically tunes your guitar. So it comes with a standard tuning preset, but 6 other presets. So if you fancied a bit of the Rolling Stones, you'd have to pick up another guitar that was tuned into G, or use your preset down here. So you press the master tuning button here down to G, then you strum your guitar, and just here on the tuning bridge, it's ascertaining each pitch of each string, and via the central processing unit on the back, it's sending the message up to the tuning keys, which you can just see turning there, tuning the guitar to G. OK, it's Gibson's Robot SG guitar. Thank you, Gaz.
As well as showing off our kit to the focus group, we left them alone to have a bit of a play by themselves, give our gadgets a bit of a test drive, and make up their minds as to what they liked best.
For a beginner to sort of start recording their own songs and start practicing the guitar, I think it's a really good piece of kit.
I mean, I personally think this is one of the best.
It's great for anyone with even a casual interest in music.
Have any kind of synthesised noises you want on there. It's a great, fun piece of kit.
To have a guitar that tunes itself is brilliant.
Well, music fans, it's finally time to rock the votes. You've got to vote with your hands. You can only choose one of our 3 music gadgets. So if you'd like to go with John's Korg K-Oscillator, raise them high in a kind of rock salute. OK, wow. Wow, that's a very large amount of people. Susie, I don't think we're going to get this one.
No, it's really relevant, isn't it?
It's not looking good. If you'd like to go for my Spider Jam, raise them high.
Oh!
Oh, that hurts. It never gets any easier. And last but certainly not least, the fabulous robotic guitar. Raise them high right now, if that's your choice.
Oh, there's 2 over here. Thank you,
Rockstars
chaps.
over there. But
it's an outstanding
win. We have a win for the K-Oscillator from Korg. Well done, John.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Let's get straight on with this week's competitive challenge between him and Jason.
Yes, you'll remember the first part of the challenge was a draw, so it's all to play for. And I came up with a rather sneaky plan of hopefully beating Jason without him even knowing about it.
You see, this part of the challenge involved one of Jason's absolute favourite hobbies, computer gaming. And we wanted to find out whether you could turn a complete novice like Dallas into somebody that could be good enough to beat an accomplished gamer like Jason. A sort of nature versus nurture type thing.
Exactly. So the idea was this. I was going to play Jason twice, first time as a novice, and then second time after 2 weeks of intensive video game training.
Yeah, and to make things more interesting, make sure Jason didn't do any sneaky practising. We kept him completely in the dark about what he was up to. Genius.
I'd set up a pair of top-spec gaming PCs and loaded them with the daddy of all multiplayer shoot-'em-ups, Counter-Strike Source. We'd told Jason we just needed some shots of him and me playing computer games for a report I'd just filmed in the States. He had no idea what we'd got planned. He just seemed happy at the chance to have a game. Fancy a little rumble?
Are you joking?
You versus me?
Oh, yeah!
We played a first to 5 in a customised map used in head-to-head aim tournaments. And unsurprisingly, Jason's years of gaming experience came to the fore.
1-0 to the Slapheadmeister.
He knew instinctively how to move and shoot and stayed calm under pressure.
2-0 to the Slaphead. Let's go. Oh! 3-0.
Whereas I was a rabbit in the headlights and he destroyed me 5-0.
Oh, no! Yes! I love this! No! Thank you for inviting me. You'll have to excuse me. I need to go. Thanks, Dallas. See you later.
So Jason went away happy, but I was determined that in 2 weeks' time, our rematch would be a very different story.
Here comes the twist. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be back here for a rematch, and this time I'm going to get trained up by the best of the best.
So the next day, I went to meet one of the world's best Counter-Strike players, 19-year-old James Wilson, also known as Wilzu. He was part of the Birmingham Salvo team who took home the title last year at the Championship Gaming Series World Final, a competition where pro gamers from across the world compete to take home some serious prize money.
How long would it take me, practice time, to get as good as you?
6 hours a day for the next 10 years.
10 years, seriously?
Yeah.
10 hours? But in terms of getting good enough to beat Jason, say...
A couple of weeks, we can do it.
What are the most important things for me to learn? Well, what is it that makes a pro gamer the top of his game?
I think it's just about thinking ahead of what he's going to do, and your hand-eye coordination is quite important as well. If you practice enough, you can be the best.
So I spent a gruelling day with Wilzu, who's already earned more than £25,000 in prize money this year from playing the game.
Move, stop and shoot.
OK.
Wilzu is one of a growing number of gamers who are starting to play professionally as tournaments and leagues spring up across the world, from the US to South Korea, where top players have a celebrity status and play in front of huge crowds. Well, all great players must start somewhere, and Wilzu's advice to me was to practice, practice, and practice some more, working on my movement, hand-eye coordination, and a steady aim. Top players use fast mouse sensitivity and smaller crosshair size to improve their reactions, reduce screen resolution to ensure the game runs smoothly, and even use customized keyboards. I found that a piece of blue tack to remind me where to put my fingers worked a treat. Sort of.
OK, so how am I doing here?
Well, you've killed 3 people.
Great.
And died 62 times.
It was clear I was going to have to put in some serious work to compete with Jason. No! So, over the next week and a half, Counter-Strike Source took over my life as I practiced day and night to improve my aim. My family ignored me as I began to comprehend the dedication it takes to be a pro gamer.
I am really tired as well.
But gradually, something clicked. What started as a chore became a passion, and I was getting better. And in my last training session, Wilzu had some final words of advice.
In a way, I'm sort of more nervous because I feel there's more to lose.
Yeah. Well, that you can't let that fear get to you. That's one of the main factors when you're playing. You've just got to block it out. I don't think you've got much to worry about. I think you're going to take this. I really do. I've
Seriously?
seen a significant improvement.
It was rematch day, and with Wilzu's advice ringing in my ears, I entered the arena. We'd told Jason we'd lost the tapes from the first match and had to reshoot it, so he had no idea I'd been in serious training, but I knew he'd pull no punches in the game. This was it. It was showtime. And the practice had paid off as I delivered the opening blow.
He shot me!
Did I get you?
What, you got me? How did you get me? I was shocked. This was not going to plan. 1-1.
I knew all the tricks now.
2-1 to Dallas.
Where to hide, how to move, and how to keep that aim deadly. And I have to say, I was beginning to see why people see gaming as a true sport. This was intense competition.
Oh, 3-all. You're playing like a demon.
We traded shots until the score stood at 4-4. It had come down to this. One shot for victory.
Yes! 5-4 to the Bradmeister.
Jason had done it. I was gutted, but I had to come clean.
I've got something to tell you, actually.
Tell me.
You know, we told you this is a reshoot.
Yeah?
It wasn't a reshoot. I spent the last 2 weeks...
Training.
...playing nothing but Counter-Strike.
I can see!
I've actually been working with one of the main teams from the Birmingham Salvo Counter-Strike team.
Fantastic.
Oh, that was so close, wasn't it? Hey, at 4-all, did you think you could take it?
I kind of did, but at 4-all it could have gone either way, so, you know.
Well, we obviously all knew what he'd been up to, but you had absolutely no idea.
No,
did
no
you?
clue at all. It was the best kept secret in Gadget show history. But I will say, with the initial headshots taking about half a second, I thought something was afoot. I knew your playing style was different. You were moving in the crouch, which is quite advanced, so I had to alter my game.
Well,
but, I mean, your improvement was amazing.
Thank you.
Well done to both of
Thank you.
But would you consider yourself to be a true gamer now?
Oh, I love it. I'm obsessed. Much to the annoyance of my poor family. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, come
Two of you now.
Come and look at Gears of War 2.
Oh,
You'll love it.
Yeah, lovely.
Now, I want to talk to you about your home phone. We all get carried away with multimedia, multifunction, all singing and dancing mobile phones, but of course, sitting at home, most of us have another phone. It's a crucial, if often overlooked, bit of home tech. And with the amazing landline phone deals out there, many of them offering free calls, it's a gadget that could save you a lot of money. So, which one should the committed Gadget fan buy? Well, I found 3 of the techiest offerings out there and got testing. There are 3 key factors when deciding what phone to buy. First, it's got to look good. Second, it has to have some experience-enhancing features. And finally, there's sound quality, arguably the most important because you want all your calls to be crystal clear. The first phone I wanted to take a look at was the high-end Bang & Olufsen Beacom 2. I do like the look of this phone. It attaches magnetically to the base station. It's made out of aluminium and it's got a plasticky sort of anodized coating that makes it more tactile to hold. It feels as though it should be too large to hold to your face, but it isn't. It feels very comfortable when you're on a call. You can store 200 contacts and assign names to them. And the phone also supports caller display, albeit on this very tiny screen. However, you do get this joystick at the bottom for flicking through menus. It may look stylish, but what I really wanted to know was whether the Beacom 2's advertised superb sound quality could justify its hefty price tag. This is comedian and impressionist Phil Cornwell, star of the comedy series Dead Ringers. I've invited him round to help me with a special mission. The idea is that you should ring each of my fellow Gadget Show presenters in turn, pick a figure from your extensive repertoire and keep them on the line long enough for us to get an impression of the phone's sound quality.
Sounds like a great idea, John. Let's do it.
On the good-looking Beacom 2, we decided to ring an equally glamorous Susie Perry. And who was going to make the call?
Mr. Jimmy Savile.
Hello?
Hello. Is that Susie?
No, it's not.
Oh, but we know it is.
Would you leave her a message that Sir Jimmy Savile has called, and I just want to talk to her about fixing it for me to join me on a marathon next year, you see.
Well, I don't know what she'll think of that.
Are you related to her?
I'm her cousin.
Very good. Once removed, twice removed. I used to know the Queen. Here we are. I'm going to hand you over now to my organiser, Mr. John, you see.
Hello, Susie?
Yes?
There we are. See? This one. We're testing out some phones. Well, we sure had Susie going, but what did Phil think of the B&O's sound quality?
Very good, John. Very good. Yeah, I don't think you could fault it. No, it was coming through loud and clear.
So, the B&O went down well. Next, it was time for an exclusive look at the soon-to-be-released simpler phone. What strikes you immediately is the backlit 7-inch LCD touchscreen. And the screen is at the centre of the whole simpler phone concept, because the idea is that you navigate your way round and manage your contacts through the medium of photographs. Pop your photos on a pen drive, plug in, assign them names and numbers, and create up to 130 contacts. There's also a camera built into the handset, so you can take pictures of passing contacts. And then, when you've redocked the handset, you can transfer them to the base station. Yes. Okay, let's give Jason a call.
Okay.
All I got to do is tap on his picture, then tap on the green. And give him a blast of Jamie Oliver.
Right, here goes. Hi, Jace.
Hello.
How you going, mate? All right. Listen, it's Jamie Oliver here. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, pucker. No, listen, mate. No, listen, what it is, Essex, you know what I'm saying? I heard you was a bit of a fan of my latest series. Yeah, mate, pass it on.
I loved the series. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
I was thinking you could do Pass It On, the art of cooking boiled eggs. I mean, do you like a boiled egg?
I love a boiled egg. I'm very partial.
Oh, mate.
I'm concerned that you sound slightly different
Yeah.
Well, Jason wasn't sold on the impression, and nor were we on the simpler phone.
There's a bit of distort going on, bit of echo. Yeah.
Though it is only a pre-production model, maybe they'll have got that all sorted out by the time they actually produce the final version.
Oh, right. But I do like the touch screen aspect. I think that's a nice idea.
That's good.
The third phone of the day was the Siemens Gigaset SL375.
Immediately you notice the similarity to a mobile phone. They're small, light, and shaped like most mobiles. There's a nicely sized colour screen and a backlit keyboard.
A great feature of the Siemens is its Bluetooth connectivity. Though slightly temperamental, when it does connect, you can transfer up to 250 contacts from your mobile.
It also means you can use a wireless headset with it, so you can take your landline calls hands-free when you're around the house.
Once Phil had his hands on the Siemens, I thought it'd be fun for an inquisitive Michael Caine to ring our Dallas.
Hello.
Hello, Dallas. It's Michael Caine here. I'm giving you a ring because I've heard you are a little bit of a thespian. Well, is that right?
Occasionally, now and again.
Can you shut up over there? I'm talking to Dallas. No, I don't mean the town in Texas. Well, how do I know if he's never been... Here, Dallas, have you been to Dallas, Dallas?
You know what? A lot of people ask me that, and I haven't.
It's very big, Texas. It goes on for a very, very long time. Now...
Not a lot of people know that.
That is true. That is very true. I'm going to hand you over now to my agent.
Hello, Dallas.
I thought there was something a bit...
I'll tell you what, good quality.
I think it's very good.
While we both thought the Siemens was the clear winner on sound quality, Phil was stuck on the B&O.
I think at the end of the day, this is the one I would like to take home, just purely for the shape of it. I think it's beautiful.
John, that was very funny.
Yes.
But of course you do know I'm going to have to get my own back now.
Yes, I know. That was what was worrying me all the time we were doing it.
Right,
actually.
two ratings then.
Yes. Well, 3Gs for the simpler phone. That picture interface is a great idea, and I'm sure once they get over those pre-production niggles, it'll be a great phone.
How about the Siemens?
4Gs for the Siemens. Technically, it's really very good indeed, and it's the best sounding home phone I've ever tried. Not that great to look at, though.
OK, so finally the Bang & Olufsen.
Also 4Gs for the Bang & Olufsen, and actually the one I'd most like to live with, because in the fantasy world of the Gadget Show, that is the phone you want.
It's very tactile, isn't it? So the Gadget Show's favourite home phone is the Bang & Olufsen.
Welcome back. It's time for the final part of this week's competitive challenge between myself and Dallas.
This is it. The gloves are off. It's last chance, Saloon. No more mucking about. It's a straight race on these uber high-tech bikes.
Yep, blood, sweat and gears in old London town.
Was there blood?
Nah, not really, but there was some sweat and, you know, obviously some gears. Anyway, what we're talking about is one heck of a race. We're here at the Tour of Britain. We've got the bikes, we've got the Lycra.
We've got special permission to have our own Gadget Show race on these.
It's a one-on-one sprint to see whose racing machine is quickest under race conditions.
The first stage of this year's Tour of Britain was a high-speed race around central London for elite cyclists from around the globe. The perfect place for us to test out two great road racing bikes in a special head-to-head one-lap sprint.
Racing bikes are designed to be stripped-down, road-eating speed machines. From the low-down handlebars and high saddles, enabling the most aerodynamic racing positions, to the ultra-narrow smooth tyres, which reduce friction and therefore maximise your speed.
My bike was the Boardman Comp 08, arguably the best entry-level bike around. Designed by former Olympic gold medalist Chris Boardman, it's certainly got a good pedigree and comes equipped with 18-speed Shimano gears, a lightweight aluminium frame, plus carbon fibre forks. Now, with this bike, you really are getting a lot of bang for your buck. Technology and materials that are filtered down through much more expensive bikes into essentially what is an entry-level bike. I just wish I had Chris Boardman's legs to pedal it.
I'd gone for the Focus KO 2008, hand-built in Hamburg. The key to a good road bike is a super light but stiff frame. First there was steel, then aluminium, but now it's all about layered carbon. And the KO's ultralight 8-kilogram carbon frame is designed to absorb and dampen the shock from the tarmac for a smooth ride. Added to which the Shimano Ultegra gears and brakes are the pro's choice. And I'd have the benefit of clipped-in pedals. The clip system's called Shimano Pedaling Dynamics, and it works off these pedals in conjunction with the mechanism underneath my shoe. And what it means is that I'm continually connected to the bike. So as I drive forward with my feet, and obviously my thighs I'm constantly putting energy in. I'm hoping this is going to give me an advantage over Dallas, because as Dallas moves forward, his left foot is doing nothing. With me, both are applying pressure the whole time. We were to do a one-lap sprint around the Westminster course, and after a quick warm-up, we were both feeling very confident with our racing bikes.
These machines are absolutely incredible.
This is the nicest bike I've ever ridden. It is so smooth and so precise.
Yeah, it's so blissfully easy. The ratio between the gears at the back, they're so slight. You don't even notice you're changing gear.
Yeah,
There's not that sort of clunk as you change gear. Are you ready for the race?
I'm ready to race you.
Who's going to win this?
Well, here's the thing. I reckon even though this is an entry-level bike, I think they're still comparable.
There is certainly a big race ahead of us.
Definitely. I think this is going to be a close one.
So the crowd had assembled, and we made our way to the start line.
Jason Bradbury and Dallas Campbell testing out 2 bikes for the Gadget show. So ready, we'll give my count.
Going down, Campbell.
Are we ready? Everybody, 3, 2, 1, and they're off. So 1 lap, and already Jason's sliding all over the place.
How's it feeling, dude?
Feels good.
Don't they feel beautiful?
As we surged away from the start, the sense of speed was awesome.
Oh my lord, he's quick. I'm a little bit scared of the first corner.
Oh my God, this corner is a hairpin bend.
Keep off the white line. Keep off the white line. Oh, it's scary. Slippy. It's slippy. Come on, Campbell.
We'd survived the corner, but Jason was already showing his speed.
But a slip of the gears from me, and Dallas was back in it.
I messed my gears up.
This was hard work, but I could really feel that stiff carbon frame and German precision engineering converting my effort into swift forward momentum. And as we neared the top of the course, I felt I still had something in reserve.
My bike may have been a kilo heavier than Jason's, but it's still lighter than the bike Chris Boardman started his professional career on. And as we rounded the final hairpin, it was still neck and neck.
But now it was time to see what these bikes were really made of as we flew down the finishing straight. I made my move. And the bike really responded as I powered away towards the finish. And in front of a packed crowd, victory went to me and my fantastic Focus KO.
Dallas found that a little bit tough.
Yup, I was beaten fair and square, and we were both absolutely exhausted.
I feel like being sick and I'm not messing about.
Oh, you needed to win that to get a draw in the challenge.
I know, I can't believe it. That was a real sound thrashing as well.
Hey, but it looked really difficult challenge in front of all those people.
It was terrifying because of the crowd. It was a bit wet, and you've seen the accidents that even the experts do. And so exhausting, wasn't it? You've got to try it to really understand. We almost couldn't walk afterwards.
Really,
so it wasn't
really
your Sunday
tough.
jaunt then?
Not at all, no. I mean, we literally couldn't walk. Our legs were like jelly when we got off the bikes. Amazing.
Fantastic. And amazing technology this week. I think these are absolute stars, aren't they? They're going to just pick this up. Because it's just so light, isn't it?
It's fantastic. And that's an entry-level bike. I mean, this is, you know, not an expensive bike in the bike world.
Great stuff. But I'm sorry, the winner of this week's challenge is Mr. Jason Bradbury. Oh, that's all we've got time for this week. So we shall bid you farewell.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.